the city.
Known a long time.
So why was Bennett arrested?
Murder. Bennett is supposed to have murdered a paladin. What nonsense. I was with him the whole time.
So why don't you go to town and explain the whole thing?
They'd stick me in the slammer as his accomplice. Nah, certainly not in the current situation.
Situation?
You know, NOTR in the city. That's bound to come to a bad end.
That himself. Nobody will learn anything.
How did the mercenaries here on the farm react?
Well, I don't know exactly what they're planning, but some of them are really pissed off.
I can understand that.
If it were up to them, they'd rather attack the city today than tomorrow to get Bennett out. Talk to Lee. Maybe there's something you can do.
I get so worked up. He didn't get that from me.
I never knew that. If he doesn't see that, I get so worked up.
Any news?
You made the wrong choice. You could have been one of us.
Hey! Can I have some more of your stew?
These militia bastards threw Bennett in the hole. Do me a favor and get him out of there, will you? In the meantime, I'll cook you some yummy stew.
I'm staying out of it.
Leave everything here.
I've gone about it differently. Don't tell me you didn't know that.
He didn't get that from me.
I've gone about it differently.
He didn't get that from me.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Everything all right with you?
You saved my ass, man. I'll never forget that.
What do you want to do now?
I think I'll load up on grub first.
And then?
Who knows? Maybe I'll go back to the mining colony. Someone should keep an eye on the orcs. Otherwise, they'll all show up on the doorstep without warning.
Ah, it's good that you've come.
What's up?
I found this in the old chapel. It's a magic rune. I think it will teleport you straight back here to the farm. I thought you might be able to use it.
I've come from the Valley of Mines. The castle there was attacked by dragons.
So it's true. Lars said that rumors about dragons are circulating through the city. I didn't believe it. What about the paladins?
They've been thoroughly decimated.
Good. Maybe that will make Lord Hagen move to the Valley of Mines with his men. The fewer paladins stay here, the better.
What about Bennett?
So you heard about that? The bastards have locked him up, just like that. As if I didn't have enough problems with my own people. Now I have to take care of the paladins too.
What will you do about Bennett?
I don't know yet. A few of the boys would like to run to the city and knock Lord Hagen's teeth down his throat. Luckily, we don't have enough people for an operation like that. And besides, it's not my style.
Are you going to stay here and see what happens then?
Certainly not. Lars is still in the city and trying to find out how we can get Bennett out of there. Until that happens, I'm trying to calm my people. I only hope that Lars doesn't take too long.
Can I help you in this matter with Bennett?
Sure, a bit of intelligence and sanity certainly wouldn't hurt in this matter. Enos knows there are enough idiots running around here. Go to the city and see if you can find a way to get Bennett out of there. But don't be too long about it. I don't know how much longer I can keep the men under control.
No one really wants to hear that.
Hey, you! Hey, you!
You will not be able to save his soul, magician. He will never return on his own.
Oh man, my head. Hey!
You need help.
I just want to go home. I'll go back to Bengar. I hope he's still alive.
There he is.
Nothing to be had there.
I've got no time for things like that.
He didn't get that from me.
Nobody will learn anything. I'd have gone about it differently.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
The black-hooded men in the mountains are no longer with us.
You were able to deal with them?
deserve that.
Good man. I didn't trust those guys one bit.
telling you
They
anything
were bound to cause a lot of trouble.
It was just like you said.
You listened to the wrong people.
Where did you pick that up then?
You don't have to tell
Why
me.
you get so worked up?
I'm not telling you anything new.
That was
I
no
don't know
big
why you
deal.
get so worked up.
That's not what I heard. I'd have gone about it differently.
Did anything else of interest happen?
Not that I know of. Nobody tells me anything.
I agree with you completely.
How's it going with your tavern?
Hopefully these black magicians will move on soon. Otherwise, I can close the tavern. Almost nobody dares to come here anymore.
No secret.
Show me your wares.
That's not what I...
Certainly, brother of the ring.
Things I could tell you.
I'm no better off myself.
There's more, believe me.
Will it ever change?
I'm staying out of it.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
No idea, you tell me.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I couldn't get away with that.
I never knew that.
You just have to listen.
There's nothing you can do about it.
I couldn't care less.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
Been there, done that.
Do you really believe that?
You don't have to tell me that.
Hey, you! Show me your wares.
May Innos watch over.
He never would have thought of that himself.
You already know what
Teach me the third circle of magic.
Yes, the time has come.
Know that.
Enter now the third circle of magic.
You better watch
New
out
spells
until
await you. You will need them, for evil draws nigh, and it can be thwarted only with the power of
Do you really
Innos.
think?
I have now taught you all of the circles that I can pass on. Karas will instruct you in the higher circles.
As if I
May
don't have
Innos
enough
protect you.
problems.
That's all.
I've come from the old Valley of Mines.
What do you have to report?
The enemy has formed up there with an army of orcs and dragons.
We have already learned that from Milton. But what about the king's shipment of ore?
The mine they are digging for Garand in the valley cannot satisfy the demands of the king.
The days are becoming grayer, and the light of the sun is ever weaker.
I was attacked by men in black robes.
I know. Those are the Seekers, henchmen from the nether realms of Beliar. Beware of them. They will try to take possession of you. Once possessed, you will no longer be yourself. Only here in the monastery could you find help then, so be careful. I have asked Karas to look into this matter. He will certainly win some further insight soon, which can make us see clearer. Here, this rune will bring you directly back to the monastery if you need our help. Remember, We must offer resistance, or we shall all be doomed.
I've found a strange almanac.
Really? What kind of an almanac is that?
I'm not sure. I thought you would know what to do with it.
Forsooth, that is very disquieting. I am glad that you brought it to me. That was very wise. I assume that there are more of these. Go and find more of these books of damnation. I suspect that it is an instrument of the Seeker's power. They use it to control the lost souls of their victims. They obviously write down the names of those whom they are planning to possess in these books. Listen, I am giving you this magical letter. It will show you the names which are written in the books. Find those victims and bring me their books. I shall dispose of them. But first, you ought to show at least one of them to Karas. Maybe that will help him in his studies. Do not make the mistake to try and destroy them yourself. You are not ready to withstand their power. Do not get close to the Seekers, or they will take possession of you. If you still find yourself unable to resist their call, come back to me as fast as you can. Only here in the monastery can your soul be saved.
Is there no protection against their mental attacks?
That is possible. Karas could know something about that.
Bless me, Master.
May Enos stand between you and harm on all the unholy paths you will have to walk.
Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, not at the moment, brother.
Any news?
Not at the moment. Go and complete your tasks. You still have much to do.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
That's totally obvious.
You listened to the wrong people.
That's nothing new.
Any news?
The enemy has apparently already entered the city.
What do you mean?
One of the paladins, Lothar, was murdered in the street. In broad daylight. It has gone too far, but I fear that is only the beginning.
You listened to the wrong people.
What's gonna happen now?
A murder, moreover, of a paladin is without doubt one of the worst crimes there is. The murderer will undoubtedly be sentenced to death.
Has the murderer been caught?
Fortunately, yes. It was one of the cutthroats from Onar's farm.
Who?
I don't know his name, but there are certainly a few figures among the mercenaries of whom you could expect such a deed.
Will it ever change?
Why haven't I heard of it?
Hey, you! Is there a way to protect oneself against the mental attacks of the Seekers?
No idea. I still know too little to answer that. Ask me about it later.
I want to learn the fourth circle of magic.
It is still not finished.
How are your studies coming along?
I've been able to find out something about the Seekers.
And what would that be?
They are, quite obviously, of demonic origin. But at least they are, or were, under the influence of demons. Be careful if you meet them.
What a novel concept.
I'm sorry, but I don't have enough material to make a more precise statement. But if you could manage to bring me something of theirs to examine...
Could the Sleeper be involved in this?
I have heard the story of the Sleeper, but from a distance I cannot say anything about it. There are countless demons, and any of them could be involved.
What kind of material do you need?
What do I know? Any objects which especially belong to these beings.
Do you want me to bring you a corpse?
No. Are you crazy? The dangers posed by a demonic being within the walls of the monastery are much too great. It will be enough if you find some objects which are typical for these beings. The remains of the demonic aura which cling to them should offer enough clues for an examination.
I shall see what I can do.
It would certainly be very useful. In the meantime, I will carry out my own personal research.
How are your studies coming along?
I am still working on the interpretation of the evidence about the Seekers. As soon as I know something,
Show me your wares. Hey! Teach me.
I agree with you completely.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Hey! I'm back from the Valley of Mines.
High time, too. What did you see?
You were right. The land's been overrun by an entire army of the enemy. Orcs are besieging the castle, and dragons have laid whole areas to waste. It won't be long before they attack Corinus, if I'm not mistaken. Lester said you wanted to see me at once. What the hell has happened here in the meantime?
The enemy has learned who you really are, and that you're planning to get hold of the Eye of Enos. He has recognized the threat. It has forced him to leave his cover and openly attack. The game of hide and seek is over. Yesterday, nobody knew what the enemy's attack would look like. Now it has become only too obvious.
I was attacked by magicians in black robes.
The enemy has many faces. The Seekers are one of them. They're really the ones who prepare the ground for the enemy. They have taken up their positions in strategic places and are now only waiting for an opportunity to spring the trap. Stay out of their way. They are very powerful magical beings, and they will try to deter you at any cost.
I finally got the proof that Lord Hagen demanded of me.
What proof is that?
I received a letter from Garand, the commander of the Paladins in the Valley of Mines. In it, he asks for reinforcements.
That should be enough to convince that militant warhorse. Well done.
What will be the next step now?
Go and bring Lord Hagen the letter from Garand, so that he may grant you access to the Eye of Enos. Then go to the monastery and talk to Pyrokar. He must give you the eye. Nothing is more important than getting this artifact away to safety. Go now before it's too late. The enemy will also try to lay his hands on it.